So good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Techno Savvy. Every now and again, I do await your feedback in terms of which particular things you want to learn. And sometimes we'll cover something, but then I'll always get someone who goes, I didn't really get it. Can we maybe touch on that again? So I'm always happy to revisit certain things. And I think the first thing that I want to revisit is a lot of you are getting these PDFs and they ask you to complete the form. So one thing you can do is you can print it out. You can write all the information you want in, and then you can take a photograph of it and send that to whoever you need to send it to. And some people are absolutely fine with that. Others prefer to actually fill out the form and email the actual form. But then there's one sneaky little bit at the end, and that is they need your signature. How do you add your signature onto your piece of paper or your PDF? So we're going to go through those steps just to show you how it can be done. The first thing you need is a pen. Then you're going to need a piece of paper, and you're going to sign your name on the piece of paper. So let me do that quickly. I'm going to call myself Joe Blogs. And as you can see, I've written Joe Blogs on that piece of paper. I'm then going to take my phone and I'm going to take a photograph of it. I'm not going to use a flash, because when you use a flash, then some of it lights up and some of it doesn't. Okay, I've taken my photo, and now what I'm going to do is email the photo to myself. And the reason I do that is because I need to have the photo on my PC. So let's do that. I'm going to go to email myself, and notice I'm doing all the steps that you would need to do to get this to work. Okay. So now the email is on its way to me. And while it's coming, let me show you what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to open up that email using my email program. I'm going to share it now in a second with you. So let's go like this. Share screen. All right, so I'm going to check out my email to see if that email has come through. I'm just having a look over here. Checking send and receive. Okay, so it is recording. Just have to double check. My brain is in 10 places at the moment. Right. Something might be coming through. Well, while it's coming through, what I would normally do is save the file on my computer, open it, and then edit it slightly. And I'll show you why we need to edit it, just to make sure that it's the right orientation, the right lighting, all that sort of thing. I'll show you how we do that quite easily. Come on, let's see if it's working. Taking a while to receive the email. Let's just check that that is working. And we'll give another 10 seconds. Come on, something must come through. Ah, there we go. I got my email. I'm going to have a look at it. It says Joe Blogs. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Save it under the CJSA folder. There we go. I'm putting it right now under there. And now I'm going to open up that image under CJSA. Here it is over there. And all I've done is I've opened it up in the regular viewer. But you'll see on top, it says edit and create. I'm going to edit it over here. I'm going to crop it first of all. On the top over here, it allows you to drag where you want the signature. Let's go like this. I just find it easy if I've got the actual signature in one spot. There we go. That's great. Do I need to rotate it or flip it? No, I'm happy with that. Let's go to save a copy. And I'm going to call it Steve Test Signature. Okay, I've got it. Now my next step is to go along to a program called, a website called remove.bg. Remove.bg basically removes the background. I'll put that in the chat for you. There we go. Remove.bg removes the background from an image. So all I do is I click on upload your image. Which one am I uploading? I'm going to go to CJSA. I'm going to go in there and find my test one. There it is. And look what it's done. It's removed the background, but kept the writing there. So those little black, like blue and white squares indicate that it is transparent, which you're going to love. So I'm going to download this, and I'm going to download it as Steve Test Sig Remove Background Preview. Got it. Okay. Now the rest is easy. Here is my PDF. They want me to fill out stuff. The first thing they want me to do is to fill out all this information over here. So if you are editing the PDF, you want to actually like fill it out, you click on this button on the right here where it says fill and sign. When you click on fill, you then have a whole bunch of things that you can do. So let's say I'm going to the position that you are applying for, the chief circus manager. Notice I only do my signature at the end, because once you've signed it, you can't edit the document afterwards. So you always sign only at the end. Department that it was advertised. Let's click over here. It was advertised in the human acrobatics department. And I can also move this around if I want to, move it wherever I like, and I can fix that to make it human. I can also resize it, make it a bit smaller. There we go. You see the little small A and a big A. You can make it bigger if you want to and move it in so that it fits the blocks. What about an identity number? Well, if I click over here, I notice that actually it's got blocks. So on this little blue block here, it says AB. I'm going to click the block there. I'm going to type in 12340892311. There we go. And now all I need to do is kind of like shift it so that every number is in its own block. If it's not fitting, I can stretch it. Oh, there we go. That looks around about fine. Every number is in its own block. Done. And when I'm done with all of that, I get to the end and it says it needs your signature. So I click on signature. Now I've got two over here. I'm just going to take one away. I'm going to take, oops, I don't want initials. I'm going to remove that one as well. I'm going to add a signature because you can do signature and initials. Initials are when you have to initial the page. That one, you can do the same process for initials, I'm going to add a signature and I want to get an image. Where do I want to get it from? Ooh, I'm going to get it from the CJSA folder, which I have over here. And I called it Joe Blogs with the preview. That was the one. There it is. There's my signature. Apply. So now I've got this Joe Blogs. Do you notice that when I put it over something, it looks like I've actually written over that line because it's transparent at the back. It's not a white square with my signature on. It's actually transparent letters, which you could put over writing so it looks authentic. And if I'm happy with that and I place it there, I can make it a little bit bigger. There we go. I'm satisfied with that. I'm then done. I can click on next and save as a read-only copy. Continue. And I'm going to call it. No, it doesn't want. Oh, no, I don't need to do that. Sorry about that. That means I have to sign into my Adobe account. No, I'm just going to go like this. Save as on the left-hand side. I'm going to call this one test PDF with Joe Blogs. Done. And now it is saved. So if I close it, let's close that file. If I go into CJSA, there is a test PDF with Joe Blogs. If I click on it, notice it's got my writing in, it's got my numbers in, and of course, last but certainly not least, it's got my signature, and that looks pretty authentic because it doesn't look like I'm sticking a block. If I had not used that remove background, then what would have happened is that I would try to stick a signature of a white square with Joe Blogs written in, and it just looks very fake. Whereas this one looks far more realistic. So hopefully that was of use to you. If you don't remember all the steps, you can always go along, watch the recording and pause it and try these things. But it really does help if you have saved your initials and if you've saved your signature, because then you can initial documents, you can sign them at the end, email them off, and people will be like, wow, that's impressive that you were able to do all of that on the computer. So that was—
Can I just ask you?
Yes.
When you call up the PDF document, on your one, it was on the right-hand side, it told you what to do. Will that always come up?
I believe it depends on the version that you have, but I believe you should see that on all documents. So what I'll do is I'll email that document to you and you can test out that document. So here we go. I'll just go and send this one here. Send to mail recipient. Let's go to, okay, so Diana, I've sent it to you. If you double click on it, you could tell me if the same works for you.
Okay, I'll have a look now.
All right. So while you're looking at that, let's see what we are going to look at next today. This is a very interesting one. I'll put the link in the chat for those of you that are interested. It's called apartment therapy. Now, what is apartment therapy? Well, let's open up apartment therapy and find out. Let's share the screen. Okay, so apartment therapy is for those of you that are looking for ideas, creative ways of upstyling your home, maybe getting some ideas on renovations, maybe looking at interior design ideas. This is all about your home. And if you go through, okay, yes, it is American-based, but at least it gives you ideas. There are articles. For example, this $1 fan favorite dollar store cleaner proves your home can sparkle on a budget. So you go and look through that article and find out how they're doing it. How expensive is it getting a dog? That fixer-upper for sale might not need a gut rehab. Here's how to tell. So they talk about all these different things that are property related. And I do believe that there's some nice ideas. The stylish dog accessory makes picking up after your pooch so much easier. This $15 tool makes cleaning my cast iron pan effortless. The 10 best home deals from Macy's lowest prices of the season sale. And you keep going through, and every now and again, they show you a pop of yellow is always a good idea. Here's what the climate scientist really thinks of your everyday home habits. They really talk about different aspects of your home, whether it be about sustainable energy, whether it be about cutting the costs of renovating, you name it. They've got lots and lots of things that might interest you. And if you're just bored and looking for ideas, you can kind of scroll down and have a look. Here's what homes of the future may look like, from living on Mars to flying houses. I mean, some of it is obviously just articles written to pique your interest. Some of it is really, stuff that you might find interesting. This might be the coolest way ever to add art to your kitchen. So now you're getting ideas of how to make your kitchen look a little bit arty. Look at this one. The best mattress toppers, but I like this idea. This one is a shelf that sticks against the wall, and you can put your things on it next to your bed. That's not a bad idea, actually. Then you don't have the side table covered, but you do have a shelf to put things on. And of course, you can keep going through. Some of the articles are repeated, some are not, but they really do give you a lot of ideas in terms of how to upgrade. The $90 upgrade that made my bathroom so much better. I don't know what they spent $90 on, but that is a gazillion rand anyway. So you have to decide if you can afford $90. And maybe there's stuff that you can actually order from the US and get to South Africa. But now they want vintage items, which is quite trendy at the moment. Let's see. I didn't think my mattress could get any better than I tried this mattress topper. So obviously different types of toppers that you add onto a mattress might bring about different levels of comfort. So you decide on what it is that interests you. And I think that the apartmenttherapy.com is something just to help you pass the time if you're looking for ideas. Right. What do we have next? Life Hacker. This is
your email hasn't come through.
Oh, it hasn't come through yet.
No.
All right, let's have a look. Let's see. I'm just resending the email to make sure that it does go through to you. Is it in my outbox? Let's just double check. It should be sent through now. In my outbox, what does it say? No, it should be coming to you. Yeah, so you should have it at some point. It does take a while to eventually get through. Okay, so this next website is called lifehacker.com, and I'm going to post that in the chat. You can check out lifehacker.com. Let me share my screen. Fixing your apartment or your home is one thing, but sometimes you're just looking for ideas on how to hack the system. When I say hack the system, I mean, let me give you examples. What happens if your partner turns into a conspiracy theorist? How do you deal with that? 19 addictive South Korean dramas to binge after the Squid Game. So if you've been watching the Squid Game and you're really into that, there are 19 addictive South Korean dramas. How to make old PC games look and play better on a newer computer. how to install Windows 10 right now, even if you don't have the updates. How to stop a couch from sagging. How to clean your hardwood floors without ruining them. So these are what we call life hacks. And I believe you can actually do a search. So if I click over here and I'm looking for, what am I searching for? I think these are the latest ones. If I click on search here, I'm going to type in, I need a life hack for viruses. Yeah, let's go with viruses. Let's see what it comes up with. Have you been washing your towels wrong the whole time? Don't shower during a thunderstorm, and other myths that are actually true. How worried should you be about the Nipah virus? Where do COVID variants come from? So now that's all, but I want a computer virus, not that kind of virus. Let's see what it does. Why is my Windows PC always running out of memory? Use these antivirus and anti-malware apps instead of Avast. So basically, if you actually are looking for a hack, something to, like a shortcut to solving a problem, you will find thousands and thousands of hacks listed on this website. And as I said, these are just things to pass the time, but you might find something very, very useful. Now, Diana, did the email come through to you?
No.
That is most peculiar. I wonder.
I think you got it in for me today.
Is it not in your?
No, I've looked in my junk.
Okay, so I'm going to now see if I can post it on this in the chat. Let's see if we can manipulate technology a little bit. I'm going to quickly go to CJSA. Let's pick one. Okay, I'm sending one in the chat to all of you. You can now all click on it. Did it come in the chat there, Diana?
Yeah.
So click on the one that I've just sent in the chat.
Okay, and what must I open?
It says approved new Z83 form, whatever. So you just click on it. And that should open up the PDF.
Mine says save. It doesn't say open.
Oh, okay, so save it and then open it. So save it somewhere and then you can open it.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, just to say that, you know, there are lots of websites that you can go to that keep you busy. The kids, they sit there and look at Instagram and TikTok and waste away. Here, at least, these have got like real life solutions to things that you might find helpful. So it definitely is worth checking out if there are things that you are looking for. And the nice thing is, if I share it again, if you look at the top of the screen, they've got food and drink advice, tech advice, health advice, money, home, parenting, work, relationships, travel, and life in general. So you could kind of pick and choose the themes that you are interested in, and you should be able to then find out all that information. All right, how are we doing there, Diana? Have you managed to save it?
Yes, and I'm managing to fill in as well, so it's fine.
Oh,
thank you.
Works perfectly. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now you're just going to go and sign a piece of paper, take a photograph, email it to yourself, edit it, remove the background, and then you don't have to do it again, because once you've saved your signature, it stays in that PDF in the PDF in Acrobat Reader. So then every time you want to use it, you click on it and it'll paste it there for you.
Perfect. Thank you. That is
welcome. You're welcome. And it's important to test these things out every now and again. All right. The next thing I want to
I'm having trouble saving it. Can you give me that again?
Oh, you're having trouble saving it on your PC?
Yeah, okay. It says from, yeah, let's see. I mean, when I click it, I get save in system 32. Is that?
No, you don't want to save in, so choose a folder where you want to save it.
Oh, okay. So go to my downloads.
That's a good
And then
place.
it's under Steve Sherman classes. Okay, and then I
Okay.
open it. Oh, I can see save.
Perfect.
Oh, what? Oh, it disappeared. Is it saved in there?
It must be. If you go into Steve Sherman folders in your downloads, it should be there.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So now a lot of people often ask me about videos. I want to watch a video, so I will go and load up a video for you. Let's find one quickly. Let's just do a test one over here. And I'm going to open it up with Windows Media Player. Let me go like this and share my screen. When you have on your computer, when you have a video file, someone sends you a video of the grandchild eating their first meal. Maybe it's I don't know, you want to watch a video clip that someone has emailed to you as an attachment. When you double click on it, normally what happens is Windows Video or Media Player opens it up. So here's a little video file. I'm going to play it with Windows Media. And this is a little video that we made during one of our CJSA sessions. And I think we will look at that again in terms of how to do all these special effects on a video.
First advance analysis slowed to subsonic speeds and the heat shield has been separated. This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface.
Now, sometimes your grandchild sends you an email of, so your son or daughter sends you an email of your grandchild eating their first meal, but it comes from their cell phone and Windows Media doesn't play the file. And you're like, how am I supposed to watch this video? Windows Media Player, every time I double click on it, it goes, this format not supported. So that is where VLC comes in. I'll put the link up here for those of you that do not know about VLC. And you can always download it onto your PC. VLC is basically an open source program, which means that all the code is free. There's no cost to the program. And it allows you to go there. You can click on download and put on your PC. It pretty much plays every format you can imagine. And every time there are new formats that come out, VLC brings a new update. And then it says you should update your VLC. And then you can play all those new formats too. So if I go along here to share my screen, let's see if it's working. Okay, I'm now sharing my screen. I'm going to go along to videos. Here's a video I worked on yesterday because I'm busy running an event for 185,000 people, and that started today. And I needed to get a little promo video about living maths together. So here is my video. And I'll notice on the corner here, it's got the VLC orange beacon on it. That means by default, when I click on it, it's going to use the VLC program to open it. If your default was actually Windows Media, then it'll show the little square with a little movie camera. And I'm going to show you how to make VLC your default program. So if I click on this, VLC's got a whole bunch of amazing features. I can watch the video, but then I can also do things like this. Under playback, I can change the speed. I can record it. I can go to the audio track, and right now it's in English, but if there were other audio tracks associated with the file, I can choose a different audio track. I can also go to the video, fit the screen, go full screen. I can take a snapshot of the screen. Subtitles. Sometimes a video comes with subtitles. You could pick and choose to have the subtitles or switch them off. And of course, you've got these other tools over here, which are effects. You can flip your video around if you want to. Let's go to effects and filters. Let's go to video effects. I could sharpen it. What else can I do? I can adjust my image if I wanted to. If I want to crop it, I can. Geometry wise, I can actually rotate it. I can do a whole bunch of things, but that's the advanced features of it. But more importantly, it plays every format of video. So how do you make a program your default video program? So I'll go like this in my search bar on the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, and I'm going to type in default apps. Here it is, and I click on that. And it's going to ask me, what do you want your default email program to be? I want it to be Outlook. So every time I click on an email address, it automatically opens up Outlook. I want VLC to be my music player, and I want VLC to be my video player, and I want the Windows photo viewer to be my default photo viewer. And of course, my default web browser, I want that to be Google Chrome. I could choose it to be something else. If I click on there, I could choose Microsoft Edge. I could choose Internet Explorer. I could choose what I want it to be, but I want it to be Google Chrome. My video player right now, it might be Windows Media Player. I'm going to go along and choose VLC because I've got it installed. And that way I know that every time I open a video by default, it's going to open up with VLC. So you can make these programs your default video player. And what I like about VLC is that you can also boost the volume about 50% louder than you can with Windows Media Player. So sometimes someone sends you a video and the audio is a little bit poor and you need to improve the audio a bit to make it louder. With Windows Media Player, if you go to full volume, it's still not loud enough, but with VLC, you can push it up an extra 50%, and that does make a huge difference. All right. And what else do we have for you today? Oh, this was an article that someone sent to me. I'm going to play the video clip for you, and then I'm going to explain what it's all about. It was this one here. Let's see if I can play it full screen. Yes, I can. Let's make it full screen like this. And let me go here to share screen. Okay, so in Japan, they wanted to teach students how to understand the risks of a tsunami, flash floods, fire. So how do you actually teach kids about the reality of a flash flood if they've never been in one and they've never seen one? So along comes augmented reality. And we have done augmented reality before, but just to give you a little understanding of what it is, if I look at, for example, my video screen right now. Oh, in fact, here's a perfect example. Let me stop sharing here. Right now, you can see I'm wearing a beard and a tuxedo. I could change my outfit to be a DJ Pineapple. I could obviously change my hairstyle, and I could also make myself look rather comical. But I believe I can also be Morgan Freeman. And when you are Morgan Freeman, it feels like God. What can I say? And then, of course, I could also be an animated character. And finally, I could be floating around in space. Now, was I really floating around in space? No. I was using augmented reality, where I augment the reality by adding in an extra filter. So can you imagine if, for example, you were walking around and that's odd. What did I do to my background? I do strange things every now and again to my background. So let's pretend that you are walking around and all of a sudden you put on a pair of glasses, and when you wear those glasses, information about each person that you walk past pops up. So for example, I look at Diana as she walks past me and it goes, Diana Socken, birthday, 1st of March, 1987. Was I close? Something like that. Yes, absolutely. And then it says occupation, big boss of CJSA. It says hobbies, whatever. So every time I'm looking around, I've got this augmented data that's now feeding me information just by looking at you. My glasses uses facial recognition, tells me who you are. So if you ever go to a business meeting and you've never met these people, you put the glasses on, as soon as it sees their face, identifies them, tells you who they are, which company they work for, you walk up to them and go, hi, nice to meet you, Robert. I'm so glad that we have so much in common because you obviously work for Shell and I work for Engine. And Robert goes, do I know you? Has no idea how I can get that information. So some people use augmented reality in creative ways. They could use it to enhance the military. Let's say I'm flying a jet and I've got my special glasses on and another jet flies past. All of a sudden, it starts feeding me information about what kind of weapons they have, the speed that they're moving, the direction that they're moving. It adds that extra information while I'm looking at that rocket. Can you imagine having that kind of information at your fingertips? Well, for education, they've now taken things a little step further. They've allowed you to have augmented reality apps on your phone. And all it means is that if you take the phone and you are looking through the camera on your phone, I will see exactly what I'm seeing right now with my eyes, but I can also put another layer to augment the reality. So right now I've added a beard and a tuxedo. I'm augmenting my reality. If that makes sense to you, that's why they called it AR. Let me show you what they've done in Japan, which I think is amazing. These kids have got a cell phone. The cell phone is actually here in the box. They've got a cardboard box and they put the cell phone into the end of the box, and the box has got lenses. So when you put it on, you get to see the image much clearer and much larger, but it's really just a cell phone image that you're looking at. And wherever you move, because a cell phone has got accelerometers built in, they know if you're looking down, up, left, or right. Check this out. They are not standing in water. Their desks are not actually underwater. They are standing in a classroom, but the app is showing them what would happen if water levels got to that height. That is how their classroom would look. And that is how they would look if they was, well, the people behind them see those two standing in the water. They're not actually standing in the water. It's augmented the water into the actual video to give them an idea of what it might look like. As you can see, it starts rising. This is what the machines would look like. If you were walking around, there's a vending machine. Now, all of a sudden, there's a flash flood and the water levels start rising. That would give you an indication of what you would expect to see. And then, of course, what would happen if you had a massive storm where things are falling from the sky? It would give you this impression of you being outside, because they're standing outside in the playground right now, and they are experiencing This over here is a fire simulation. What would happen if there was a fire in your classroom and there was smoke and you can't see anything? So notice the room looks like it's smoky. It's not. It's just the visual perception that they've added this augmented reality. They've added the smoke to the app, which means that now while you're looking around, you're seeing smoke. Can you find the other end of the classroom? It is a wonderful simulation because no one is actually in smoke. There is no fire. There is no flood, but it is the reality of experiencing what it feels like. What about an earthquake? So it takes your normal classroom and then digitally it starts shaking things around, and you would get a sense that there is an earthquake by looking at that video. The next step is to add virtual reality. Now, virtual reality is not like augmented reality. Augmented reality, you have reality. Simple as that. And then you're adding something into that reality. Virtual reality is when you climb into a world that doesn't exist and you can interact with all the things in it. So what I will do is 1 week, I will hook up my VR headsets to the computer and allow you to see what I'm seeing in my virtual world. What was so fascinating is that, you know, you can get a game where it's called Richie's Plank Experiment, where you feel like you are standing in an elevator, the doors open up, and you are walking out on a plank. You're actually standing on the floor. You're not standing on a plank at all. But your brain, because when you look through those glasses, wherever you move, you're getting a full 360 view of this virtual world. You actually think you're standing on a plank. And when you walk along the plank, it makes the sound effects of wood creaking. And you are convinced that you are actually standing on that plank. And then, of course, if you fall off the plank, which, I mean, it's just you're standing on the floor, so you're not going to fall off the floor. It gives you the impression that you are falling because the video is showing buildings going past you and you actually think you're going to hit the ground. Now, where do they use that sort of thing? Because with these gloves and with the handles that come with the VR sets, they allow you to interact. So I could, for example, train up doctors, have a fake body, and they could be anywhere in the world. They join in with their VR sets, and now we're all standing in the same room despite being in different locations. And I can show them how to cut up, sew, and stitch, and then they would do it, and I would have a look to see what they were doing. And I go, no, you're doing that wrong, try it again. So I could do training from anywhere in the world. And I'm hoping that when COVID is over, we'll get a chance to get some of you into a VR headset to have a look to see what it's like, and it will blow your mind. Here he is using the VR set to be in a situation where he goes into a room and he was able to move dials and levers and that type of thing to try and avert a crisis. So VR and AR are fascinating fields in technology at the moment, and hopefully you'll get a chance to experience that in the not too distant future. I can tell you, if you are in Sea Point, my friend Tyrone is running the VR arcade in Sea Point. It's called Sense Virtual. And if you want, you can go spend an hour with the VR glasses, doing the craziest things, chasing zombies, flying around. You can do anything you want with it. And you actually feel like you are doing it. It is the most remarkable experience. If you sit on the roller coaster and that thing goes, you actually think you're in a roller coaster. It's quite horrific for those of you who've got a fear of heights. So that is what I have for you today. Are there any questions or any special requests?
Doesn't seem like it. Let's see. Anybody got any questions to ask Steve?
Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a bad question.
Well, it was a great session. Thank you. I learned a lot today.
Awesome. So I do think that
I've got a question.
Oh, Ed, throw your question out. Go for it.
No, maybe this is a bit illegal. I don't know. Is it
You ask it. Ask it. Go for it.
Watch sports events on my computer without paying astronomical fees.
Absolutely. So there are a couple of ways you could get around that. I'm not going to advocate any because that would mean I'm supporting some naughty behavior. But you might have family members that have got a full DSTV subscription. And they are watching DSTV using a DSTV decoder. But if you are a premium DSTV subscriber, you do realize you can also watch DSTV on an app on your phone. Now, they might not be using that app, so they might generously offer to set up the app on your phone, and then you could watch, using that same subscription, you could watch that on your phone. Of course, I wouldn't say that you should do this, but I can't tell people what to do. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is there are many sports channels that stream live sports. It really is about Google searching, finding the ones that interest you, and then obviously putting them onto your computer. So if I just went like this for a second, let's just go to my screen and I go free live streaming sports. Live stream sports for free. Let's have a look to see what they've got here. What sport are you looking for, Ed?
Rugby. Rugby.
That's football. Rugby. Let's go to rugby. There are no streams at the moment. Let's go to rugby sevens. Nothing is live at the moment. Today, for example, these are the sports that they have got streaming live. Let's go to this one here. It's live right now. Let's play it. Let's see if it'll work. Click allow if you are not a robot. I'm not seeing the allow button. Let's try it again. Refresh it. Oh, you've got to click allow to show notifications. Let's see if that's going to work. Play it again. That did not work at all. So let's go to find another one. This one seems to be, it's also live. They've got different web browsers. You see these little links here they are streaming it live in different places. So let's go to this one. No, why is it doing that? Okay, so that was not a great option. Let's try searching for something else. Let's go to 20 of the best free sports streaming sites. No signups needed. There's free NFL streaming sites, but you want rugby. Let's go to free streaming sites for rugby. That might help. Let's see. There's rugbystreams.me. Which one you want to see? Super Rugby. Let's go to Super Rugby. That's an advert. These people are just putting adverts. There must be something where they're showing a league stream. Let's see. Nothing streaming online at the moment. Yeah, let's see. Fox. No, these are all sports betting websites. That's not helping either. So I'll tell you what. there are sites, but as you can see, these people are very smart. When you go and do a search for free streaming of sports, they will put lots and lots of sites up there to entice you to click on them. And then, of course, you've got to just make sure that your browser and your antivirus is working, because they want to obviously sell you betting, sports betting and Bitcoin and all those sorts of things. So Ed, I will do the search for you, and I will try and find some free online streaming sites where you can watch rugby. Is it just rugby that you want to see?
Yeah, well, I don't know, tennis as well.
Rugby, tennis. I'll have a look to see what I can find, and I will show that for next week. I'll just make a note of that in the document, that I must add sports streaming live for you. Okay, done.
Thank you.
Any
Thanks
other
a lot.
requests? Don't be shy. Let's have a look. No? All right. Well, that was a very interesting lesson in terms of, with Ed's question, that sometimes when you are searching for things, you do have to experiment a little bit, because remember that people know that you are searching for something with the word free in it. So they know that if you are going to be looking for free sports, free movies, for free whatever, that is when they find creative ways to hook you in to their site. So just be aware of that, and I'll see if I can find ones that are not so bad, but legal, and you should be able to watch them.
Well, maybe
Thank
you
you
could
so
add
much.
information about how to protect yourself. You said something about the virus protection.
Absolutely. I will do that next week as well. We'll look at using virus protection and malware. That's a good point. Okay, I'll do that for you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Steve.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Have a good week. We'll see you.
Yes, and there's exercise.